Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you have not been here before, thank you so much for coming. Today I'm going to be making a video about 5 red flags you should look out for when you are talking to potential clients. Okay guys, I wanted to make this video. I actually made a video recently about a story I had with a client, and that really sort of sparked my idea with this video because I started thinking about some of the red flags I saw in the beginning that I should have listened to and trusted my gut and probably not worked with that person because I know a better door would have opened if I didn't. So I wanted to talk to you guys about those red flags and also some other red flags I have seen in past experiences. But before I hop into those tips, I did want to talk about and just kind of like give you guys some motivation that you are in control. You don't have to work with everybody and anyone that reaches out to you. In fact, I think it's really important to start building a really good onboarding process so that you can kind of like weed out the people that might not value graphic design, because unfortunately there are quite a few people out there who think it's just really simple, one and done kind of thing, and they might not respect all the work that's going to go into it, which is going to create problems later on. So I actually changed my entire process of basically, before I even hop on a call with them, I have them fill out my contact form on my website. You ask the simple questions like, what does your business do? How long have you been in business? And if they're really answering these very short, it might kind of show you that they don't really care, which is going to cause problems later on too. But I also ask them, how involved do you want to be with your project? Do they want to be very involved? Do they want to just hand it off and not have anything to do with it? And if they do want to do that, it might not be the best fit for you, because a lot of times clients don't understand that they actually do have to put a little bit of work into the collaboration with you, because you can't come up with everything and anything without really knowing like details from them and also like receiving content for the website. So you want to make sure that they're willing to be pretty involved. I also ask them from the very get-go what their estimated budget is. If they say anything lower than $1,000, I probably won't work with them. But I just ask them like, how much do you value the investment? I really just kind of ask them those questions that aren't deliberately like, do you care about this? But also they allow me to understand where they're at in their business and how they really will be to work with. So I wanted to preface with that because I think it's important to kind of go in and edit your contact form so you're asking questions that'll really help you later on before you get way too far in and before you spend time making a proposal. You want to make sure that who you're working with is going to get excited about it and value it and respect it. So with that said, let's hop into my 5 red flags to look out for. Number 1. They don't agree to your communication style. So for me, I personally like to hop on a phone call. I like to do Zoom calls when we're talking about revisions. And if they don't agree to either of those, it's not gonna work. With that client I had recently, I ended up changing my communication style to texting, which was the worst mistake I could have ever made. I was so stressed out. I felt like I was working on her stuff at like 10 at night because I'd receive a text, and it just was not good for my own boundaries, but also just for organization purposes, it just wasn't working. So make sure that whatever communication style you prefer, you stick to that and your clients respect that and work with you on that. So I also have used Google Meet, and I have had to change that to Zoom because not everyone has a Gmail. But that's like the only small adjustment I'm going to make to my communication style. Number 2, if they question the price. Now, I know people might have questions, even if they're a great client. It's normal to have some questions, but if they're asking things like, you charge, let's just say this is an example question. So you charge $900 for just a logo? That question right there would probably make you say, yeah, let's not work together. So make sure that you're looking out for questions like that. And I think that if from the very beginning you're confident with your package and what you're providing and the process and everything, they shouldn't question it. But if they are, then that's a super huge red flag that they probably aren't ready to work with a professional like you, but also probably just can't afford it right now, and they're gonna be extra picky and just extra kind of crazy when you're working with them because they feel like they're handing over everything that they like saved or whatever it is. But make sure that you're looking for that, because if they're questioning the price from the very beginning, it's not a good sign. Number 3, I kind of mentioned this when I was talking about the contact form, but if their answers to your questions on your questionnaire or your contact form are really vague and like short and like one sentence, maybe kind of rethink that too, because if they're not putting the time into it then they probably won't put time into communicating with you later on down the road. So I always look for that. I just want to see like if they're excited about it, and I get it, some people just aren't great writers, maybe they just are busy, but if this really means a lot to them, I think they will spend time filling out the contact form with detail to help you and to also just share their passion. And you want to work with people who are excited and who respect it and respect the process and aren't just like handing it over and want nothing to do with it. So definitely look out for that as well. Number 4, this is also a question I have started to include in my questionnaire, and that is if they have worked with previous designers. So I put this in there because if they have worked with other designers and didn't get what they want, I really want to hear that story, and it might be something totally understandable, like if they went to like Fiverr and they had someone just do like a clip art logo and now they want to work with like a professional designer. I would want to hear that whole story, but that's understandable, completely respect that. But if they've worked with previous designers and maybe they just have not the greatest things to say, it might be something you want to rethink, because maybe they just aren't in a place yet to communicate what they want with other people. And like I said, maybe they're just not ready to work with a professional and they just need to kind of step back and rethink their whole project before they take this leap. So I would definitely ask that question, ask for more backstory to it, because this is one of those things where you kind of have to trust your gut. And if you feel like, oh, their previous story was just like they got completely ripped off and now I want to show them what like working with a great designer is like, totally fine. But make sure you just get that story so that you know what to either look for when you're working with them or prevent when you decide to bring them on to your basically clientele. So definitely look for that as well. Number 5, if you're on the call with them and maybe on their questionnaire, if you put like your ideal due date and they basically put tomorrow, and they always assume that you can turn it around really quick, that is another red flag. Because I know that like people on Fiverr or people on Upwork or people like on platforms like that are just doing like not unique logos or basically the bare minimum, can probably turn that around overnight, and that might mess with the client's head thinking that you can do that as well. But make sure that you're really looking for that, because if they think you can do this really quick, they might not understand really all the work that's going into it. And like I said many times in this video, the value of what you're providing, because what you're providing is so valuable and it takes time. It takes a lot of research, a lot of like hand drawing, a lot of honestly, it's a lot of work. When you add up everything you do up until delivering the product to your client, it really is like hours and hours of work. So if they think it's just one simple thing, might not be the best partnership, and they might not understand like what exactly it is you're providing them, which can, I know from the beginning it might just seem like, oh, they just don't get it, but these are red flags, because later down the line they might expect you to like do an edit same day, and that's not only going to drain you, but it's just going to get so frustrating, because if they needed it like yesterday, they're not going to like enjoy the process and really just collaborate with you to get it perfect. Because a lot of times a great, amazing brand takes 3 weeks plus, so make sure that they're aware of that. And like I said, just really trust your gut, ask questions, and get the story behind who they are, what they expect, and make your decision off of that. Alright, you guys, those are my 5 tips for red flags to look out for when you are looking for new clients. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sure there's more red flags out there, but these are some that I've come across and some that I really look for now moving forward. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me know down below what your guys' red flags are. I think it's just great to help each other, and yeah, you want to make sure you're working with people that you love working with, that respect you, and respect and know the value of what they're getting. So I really hope this was helpful. Let me know, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you did, and I will see you guys in my next video. In my head, we go undercover, I will be your lover. We're up to night and day, come on, let me